Welcome back. Cruises on a yacht, flights on a private jet, getaways to a billionaire's private resort. For the first time in the history of the Supreme Court, a formal written code of ethics will force justices to publicly reveal the gifts they receive and who they got it from. This move is following recent reports that some members of the High Court were not exactly following a code of conduct. All 9 justices signed a statement saying this is an effort to correct a, quote, misunderstanding that the court's justices are not restricted by ethics rules, adding that these are not new rules, but rather a formal adoption, I should say, of the previously unwritten guidelines that justices were always expected to follow. Joining us now, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, as a member of the Judiciary Committee. He was the lead sponsor of the Supreme Court ethics bill. Senator, thanks for joining us on this. Appreciate it. You called this long overdue, but there's no way to investigate and no way to enforce. Talk more about that with me.
Yeah, so as the court itself said, these are principles that, in theory, have long governed the court's conduct. And what they've done is they've basically tinkered with the judicial code of conduct a little bit and recapitulated it for themselves, which is all fine. And I don't think it was easy for them to do this, but it misses the bulk of the problem, which isn't that the code of conduct for judges wasn't good enough. It's that they weren't enforcing it against themselves. Every other federal judge also adheres to a code of conduct. And if it looks like there's been misconduct, there's a process for figuring out whether there was misconduct or not. The Supreme Court has still built in no such process. So it's a little bit like saying, okay, we're going to play by the rules of baseball.
Right.
But we don't want to have umpires. And we're going to keep calling our own balls and strikes. And we're going to decide when we're running the bases whether we're safe or out. And it's that attitude and it's that failure of process that has gotten them into this predicament. So this is a first step, but it's not meaningful until and unless they build the process for imposing it on themselves.
So they've published this thing. We can now look at it when there is reporting, as there was a few months ago from ProPublica about Justice Clarence Thomas, and say, well, is this part of the code of conduct? Was this code of conduct violated? But what can actually be done about that? I'm wondering, with that in mind, are you considering still legislation to impose stricter ethics codes?
It's not so much to impose stricter ethics code. It's to make sure that there's an actual process to determine whether or not the ethics code is being followed. If you have an ethics code, but it's up to you to decide whether you are following it, that's really no ethics code at all. So we do need to fix the process problem on which they did zero in this latest iteration. That is the really big thing. And of course, we need to continue to look back at the misconduct of the past so that people understand exactly what went on and who was behind it and how it connected. So we have 2 big pieces of work ahead of us, even with this code of ethics now in place.
Let me ask you an offshoot of the reporting of ProPublica. Last week, the Senate Judiciary Committee scheduled to vote on issuing the subpoenas for Harlan Crow and Leonard Leo. That was actually tabled. What is the status of that effort?
Chairman Durbin is going to figure out a time to revive that effort. There's a faint possibility it could be this Thursday, but I think it's likely going to be after that because we need to do some judges coming up on Thursday. So we need to make sure we've got a lot of time because the Republican response to us trying to explore how many secret gifts right-wing billionaires gave to their favorite justices has been absolute barricade. And in the last hearing where we tried to do this, they filed 90 amendments for us to have to process through. I would argue they were all bad faith amendments intended to jam the gears of the committee, which they did.
I got to get you on the record with this, Senator. We just played this sound from my correspondent, Ali Vitale, who is on Capitol Hill right now. Senator Markwayne Mullin having a bit of a confrontation during a hearing with Teamster President Sean O'Brien, having to be kind of walked back by Senator Bernie Sanders. Is there a decorum issue in the Senate right now, sir?
No, sit down.
I think for most people, no, but every organization has its moments and every organization has its outliers. So I think that the decorum in the Senate generally is actually quite good.
It seems, though, particularly heated, also considering what is happening between Tim Burchett and Kevin McCarthy right now as well. Tim Burchett essentially accusing Kevin McCarthy of elbowing him. And we know Tim Burchett obviously voted to oust Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker.
Well, we in the Senate like to think that the House has always been livelier than the Senate.
If that's how you'd like to put it, sir. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, up next.
Thank you.